oui. Nous vous invitons finalement à désactiver ou à activer la fonction silence de vos téléphones si ce n'est pas encore fait. Et je suis sûre que vous avez aussi hâte que moi maintenant d'entendre ceux qui viennent vous éclairer ce soir. Nous commençons par les requérants. Nous invitons Madame Tiffany Callender, directrice générale de l'Association de la communauté noire de Côte-des-Neiges, et Monsieur Balarama Holness, cofondateur de Montréal en Action, à nous présenter leur état des lieux en lien avec la thématique. La parole est à vous et vous disposez de 15 minutes pour les deux que vous partagez comme vous voulez.
Let the time begin. S'il vous plaît, jouez le vidéo de démarrage qu'on va introduire ce que le SPVM pense du profilage racial.
Well, first of all, racial profiling, a lot of it, if you heard about it, a lot of it is in perception. So whether you have a camera or no camera, it's perception, you know, and for some people, unfortunately, perception is 9/10 of the reality. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a fact.
Thank you very much for your time tonight.
You're welcome.
André Durocher from the SPVM.
Thank you very much, and please play the video one more time for good measure.
Well, first of all, racial profiling, a lot of it, if you heard about it, a lot of it is in perception. So whether you have a camera or no camera, it's perception, you know, and for some people, unfortunately, perception is 9/10 of the reality. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a fact.
Thank you very much for your time tonight.
You're welcome.
André Durocher from the SPVM.
So that is the current position. And the state that we're in right now, the African Canadian community needs truth and reconciliation the same way the Indigenous community had truth and reconciliation. And I want to make one thing very clear, is that profiling and incarceration is nothing new. The Indigenous community is homeless in their own homeland. They are profiled and incarcerated to the point where the criminal code had to be amended to ensure that judges had to reduce sentences for Indigenous communities because of the rate in which they're being incarcerated. They had to reduce sentences for Indigenous communities because judges did not know the social condition that Indigenous communities were in. We are in an era of truth and reconciliation, and every time that you intercept, infringe, and denigrate an Indigenous person, not to mention who happens to be homeless, you are infringing on the very essence of Canadian identity. You are infringing on truth and reconciliation. So we're at a point where we want to talk about solutions. We want to be positive. But systemic racism and profiling is trauma, and trauma is systemic racism and profiling. And for that truth and reconciliation to heal the Indigenous community as well as the Afro-descendant community, there needs to be pardon. There needs to be I'm sorry. And that has never happened. So until we start recognizing that it's just more a question of perception, and so we start recognizing that historic injustices are actually being perpetuated every time you profile someone, it's very difficult to advance. The social condition of many young people of color who can't find jobs with unemployment rates skyrocketing